And what a great game Saturday. I told the players this morning, it's a shame you can't enjoy it, for any length of time. I mean, which obviously we will enjoy it. And we did enjoy it after the game, but it's, now it's moving on to a great opponent. But let's go back to the Marshall game. I think it was two teams that really, really knew what was at stake. I tell you, the vibe from our team, the way they were together, the camaraderie, it really couldn't have got much better. I was really so proud of how they played together and really and I see all these things at the hotel. I see them in pregame. I see them in how we practice all week. Obviously it was a big deal. Marshall celebrating their 75th anniversary, I guess maybe 76th anniversary, and they, their team and all the things they put into that. So, just from a historical standpoint, which as y'all know, I'm a old history major, so the history of the game, man, what a neat time to really be there and see that unfold. Obviously, they had a lot to play for, and that's what the game looked like. I thought it was a very well-played game, well-officiated game, not a lot of penalties. They let us play, but I was just top to bottom, offense, defense, special teams, very, very solid. And to find a way to win in the end, this guy making a big play, Grayson making a big play at the end was huge. Looking ahead, what San Antonio's done, boy, is unbelievable. They have had an unbelievable season. Coach Traylor's done a great job. Obviously we've kind of seen this thing building. We were kind of looking at those players, and I think we've been seeing a lot of these guys for about 3 straight years. So these guys have, kind of helped grow with their program, and now here they are in their senior year. Some of them super seniors, probably a lot of them, and they're really good across the board. Offensively they're very dynamic. They got the great running back. They've got a quarterback now that can do it all. He can run, he can throw, big up front, big tight ends, big receivers. They're explosive. So offensively, boy, they've put points up on everybody. Defensively, really impressed with them. They're physical, they tackle, they're big, they run well. And then I know the special teams coordinator, I coached with him, he does a great job. So really across the board, really, just a great team. And then the atmosphere, I know this is a big deal to them. Obviously, having played in the Alamo Dome before, it's loud when there's not many people. It just is. And I'm sure they'll have it packed out. So we know we're going to have to really do a good job with snap counts, et cetera. But, as we told our kids, our dream is to be playing for a championship at this time of the year. Obviously, we'll have one more if we can get through this one, but we're not looking to it, And so proud of them from last week. We're looking ahead to San Antonio, and should be a great one. Questions?
So, Bill, would you say you're peaking at the right time?
I think so. I think so. I think everything we do is to peak at this time of the year. We've really probably had more injuries this year than we've ever had. I think some of that's just because of the schedule we've played. Maybe the 8 weeks without open date, that didn't help us. But, I think it is what it is there, and we just, our guys have fought through it. But that's probably top to bottom best game we've played, last week. And it was just how they played and how they played together was just really special. Obviously San Antonio's playing great ball too, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that was our best game of the year, top to bottom.
Obviously, look at McCormick, what he's been able to do, but take a look at Harrison, what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
Really developed really well this year. Just talk a little bit about what he's been able to do and how much of a challenge will be guarding him.
Yeah, you talking about the quarterback, Harris. Yeah, I tell you, he makes them go. And you see him on the sidelines leading. He's dynamic. He can really, really run. But he's a real quarterback. He throws the ball well on the run. They do a lot of different rollouts where they'll naked him, they'll boot him, he breaks contain, they run draws with him. So, that's kind of, as I always say, when you got the guy that can throw it and really run, and he can really run, it's like defending 12 guys. So you got McCormick, who is a terrific back, strong, he runs it inside, runs it outside, always seems to break some during the game. And we've played against him for the last few years, so we know about him. And then you got the quarterback, though, that's dynamic and leading them. So it's a good combination.
Bill, how big of a big-time player has Grayson become?
Yeah, man, just so proud for this guy, just to see him evolve. And I told the story when he had the interception return for a touchdown a few weeks ago. He was an offensive player when we got him, and we needed him on defense, and he was glad to do it. But to see him, and I think that evolution, he'd tell you, probably started last year when he really started tackling well. He's always defended the pass good, but, he started tackling well. and just he's got a real nose for the ball, and we were laughing how he fell on the ground. That's what we teach him to do when we intercept it to win the game. He fell, so he's going to say he did that on purpose at the end of the game. I don't know if he tripped on the grass or what, but he's done a great job for us, and really a credit to to his community, trustful that he comes from. So really proud for him.
Building off that, as a defensive-minded coach, what goes into making plays like Grayson has made this year? I mean, he's got 4 of them, 2 big punt blocks, interception return,
right.
The game-sealing interception last week. Just what goes into making those kind of big game-changing plays? Yeah,
I think it's a combination of the player and the coach. And what we want to do as a coach is put them in position. So his position coach, Coach Schrader, spends a lot of time talking about these routes, and the thing that doesn't get noticed on that play. The guy gets rerouted by Poppy Turner, who's inside and forces the guy outside. So there's all these things that go in, and Grayson's sitting on that route because he's seen it over and over throughout the week, and that's things that they talk about on the sideline, and we talk about taking coaching. And then the punt block is another thing. You've got God-given ability, and then you get coached, and that helps accentuate those abilities. And I think that's what when it works good, that's what it looks like.
Bill, we know a win Saturday would be, significant in the Conference USA race, but what about in terms of beating a top 15 team on the road?
Yeah, I think those are all those motivators that, I'm sure for them, I see what they say and talk about, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ, and playing at home. So they've got their motivators, and we got ours. And I think, anytime you play an undefeated team, it doesn't get any bigger for us than the conference championship. So, I mean, that's what we work for. That's what this is. Them being undefeated and ranked makes it even bigger, but it just tells you how good they are. So, because they really are. So, it just, we know we've got our work cut out, and we got to do a great job in practice this week.
Debo's just had a great few games. Been bruised up a little bit with that ankle. Just what are your kind of plans for this week? Kind of keep him a little bit still on rest, just to kind of let him go for game times.
That's what we do. I mean, you just when you got a guy that gets as many carries and as physical as it is, and I think that was the most carries he's had all year. So we'll have to manage him this week. Those other running backs do a good job. They're ready when their number's called, and we'll just limit his reps during the week.
What did Dylan show you in terms of making a big play like that?
Yeah.
As far as, being ready for this big moment?
I think when you go back, and Coach Vincent and I talked, early yesterday morning, he didn't have many mistakes in that game. And some of that is taking a sack when it's not there. It's not what we want. We'd love to get rid of it, but sometimes you have to take a sack. And we protected the ball. He protected the ball, and really he had it was like 2 mistakes. So he managed it. He threw the ball well. He had those big throws at the end of the game when we named. That's you're talking about to have some calm and some cool when it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and he puts it on the money time after time after time when we asked him to do it. So really, really proud of him.
A couple of those big catches, convert third downs by Ron Davis. Y'all missed him for a few games this year. Just how big was it to have him, that real consistent weapon there back for that game?
Yeah, boy, it was huge. We were kind of, he's been dealing with a groin issue, and we thought we had him back last week. He was ready to go, but, weren't ready to get him in yet. And then this week, it was like, man, he's looking good. And he runs those option routes, the shake and getting back and say he's got great hands. He's tough. And all those receivers, I will say this, and I told Coach Smith and I've talked about it, it's the best our receiver unit has looked, probably top to bottom ever. And the big thing, not that we didn't have guys that make great catches and great plays, but from the first man to the last, they understand their role when they're called upon to block and be unselfish and be team players. So I'm really proud of that group as a whole, but it sure is good to get him back.
I guess just talk about the pride that you have in coming up with these big plays week after week after week, and where does that come from?
It all starts in practice. We preach making the plays in practice, so in the game it's just natural to you. So I would say just staying hard on us in practice to make plays so that on Saturday it just comes easy. Yeah.
Did you slip or did you fall down on purpose?
It was on purpose, for sure. Yeah, I thought about it right when I caught it. I was like, get down, make Coach happy. Yeah.
There's also a matter, though, Grayson, of being in the right place at the right time, right? And part of that, how much of that is instinct and just, plays that you've been making since you were 5 or 6, I guess, or whatever?
Yes, sir. It's being in the right place at the right time, and then I would say it's, just the defense doing all our own part to make the scheme work. So, like Coach said, Pop making the reroute to where I'm right there to make the interception. So, it's a team game, and when we all do our own part to make it all work, we end up making plays like that. So, yeah, it's a team effort for sure for that.
And talk about just the hugeness of this game coming up and playing an undefeated top 15 team. I mean, how pumped up are the guys about going over there and playing these guys?
Yeah, we knew this one was on our radar all year, and then now it's finally here. So, yeah, they're undefeated, unbeaten. We know what we got ahead of us, and we're ready for it. We've been saying every week's a championship week, and we got another one this week, so we'll be ready to go.
Obviously, you got two big players you got to defend. Sincere McCormick, Harris, the quarterback. Just as a defense, how do y'all kind of balance, which way to really focus on, on any particular play?
Yeah, they have a couple great players on their offense. Their offense has been putting up a lot of points. It just comes back to being a full team defense. We got to stop the run and stop the pass. So we're all gonna have to work together for the scheme that they put in front of us, and yeah, it's going to need a full team game to stop those players. They're really good.
Grayson, I met Xander Eccles the other day, and we were just talking about the special teams and all the big plays that have been made with the special teams. How much pride do you take not only in the defense but also in the special teams part of the way this team has been performing?
It's a huge part. We spend a lot of time in practice on special teams, so Coach makes a big emphasis of it throughout the week, and Coach Thomas, Coach Schrader, Coach Riley, they put together a great plan every week for who we're playing, and it's worked out a bunch of times for us this year, and we're going to continue to make plays on special teams, and that's always a big part for us. So.
What will be the significance of, not only winning this game in terms of Conference USA, but to beat a top 15 undefeated team on the road? What would that do for the program?
It'd be a huge stepping stone because usually the top 25 teams we've been playing are the Power 5 programs that we play each year and stuff. So now it's an in-conference opponent. It's end of the year to clinch our side of the title, and it's a big game. We know it's huge for our program, and especially it being on the road against an in-conference team, we're going to need to be ready, and I think we will be.
With Debo being doing what he's been able to do the past few games, how does that feel you as an offensive lineman, just getting out there and just moving dudes down the field for him?
Oh, it's been amazing. Like you said, these past few games, I think he had like 9 touchdowns total, which is amazing. Just a tribute to him. Just seeing how he's really attacked it. He had some issues early on with ball security or whatever, but he really honed in on it. He didn't run from it, and I saw a different side of him, and I've been seeing a different side from him and everybody else as well on the offense, to where it's now we're playing for each other. And so just knowing if I can help along with the rest of the O-line open up just that little crease, we know what he's capable of and what he's going to do with it.
So it sounds like you as an offensive lineman and the rest of the offensive line have played a big role in helping him develop, not only as a player, but probably, as an individual too, right, on the team?
Yes, sir. It's just a deal of just letting them know that we trust them. Everybody makes mistakes. We all make mistakes, whether it be I miss a block or, something, anything, it's the game. So just letting him know that we're here for him and just to stay up, because throughout a game, there's a lot of emotions, there are ups and downs, roller coasters. But as long as he can just forget the last play, whether it's good or bad, that's what we preach, is moving on to the next play. And if you can do that from play 1 to play 100 or however many plays it is, then you can be able to live with the result. So that's the main thing, is just let them know that we're behind them no matter what, and let them know that we trust them.
For the majority of your career here at UAB, you spent it on the left side of the line, left tackle, started left guard this year, but now you're back on the right side, taking that right tackle spot. Just what's been that transition like, and do you feel like your time at left tackle kind of helped you on that right side?
Moving to right was new to me. Like you said, this was my first time in my career playing on the right side, and the biggest thing was just it's kind of getting your brain to flip everything else around. It's the same things, but it's in a different order, and your opposite leg, opposite hand, and stuff like that. But my coaches have done a great job helping me out with that, preparing me. I can't tell you how many extra pass sets and things like that I've done over the past few weeks just to get comfortable with making that move. That's the biggest thing, is being able to be comfortable while being uncomfortable or being in an uncomfortable situation. So that was huge, and I feel comfortable now, but I'm still looking to get better in any way that I can to help this team out. So.
Colby, how important is the running game in terms of setting the tone in a game, especially when you're playing on the road in a hostile environment?
I think it's very, very important. We pride ourselves on being on a hard-nosed, tough team, and we know to open up the things that we want to do, whether it's through the air or play action-wise or drop back. We have to be able to move some people around. This game has changed a lot, but at the end of the day, you still have to be able to run the football, and we've been known to do that and do it pretty well, and I'm glad that we're able to still consider to do that, especially on the road. It'll be tough to get in a game like we saw during Georgia, to have to drop back, and when you got that many fans or it's that loud, and it's kind of hard to hear the cadence, and the defensive line may get a jump on you or something like that. So when you're able to set the tone early and run the ball and run it well, it opens up, it calms the fans down and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be huge, especially this week.
Building off that, last week you had our two big drives there in that fourth quarter. Took up a lot of time. Just, how much confidence does that give y'all going into this game that y'all can continue to do that?
I think the biggest thing is just knowing that if we take care of the ball, we worry about the play, one play at a time, that we can sustain drives. You saw what our defense did the whole game. As long as we can give those guys time to where they can rest and recover and keep them off the field as long as possible, we know that they're going to create big plays on defense, and then vice versa. They get a 3 and out, which I think they held them to 1 out of 12, which is huge. I mean, we spent most of the time with the ball in our hands, and so it's kind of a thing of feeding off each other. So if we do our job, we sustain drives, we get points, then we know it motivates them, and at the same time, they have our back just like we have their back. So,
what would it do for this program to beat a top 15 undefeated team on the road?
Honestly, I think it'll be huge. Like Cass said, it'll be a stepping stone, but at the same time, when you look back at all this program has done since the return of 17, you can say that that's one of the few things that we have not done yet, is beat a ranked team. So I think that it'll be awesome. It'll do a lot for this program, and then, like Cass said, it's an in-conference opponent. It's a championship game essentially for the West Division. They're unbeaten. I mean, I don't know how many other motivating factors that either side needs. Then this is just going to be a huge game.